This morning, we continue our series, Coffee with the Candidates, to help you get to know the candidates running for office in the upcoming elections on a personal level. And joining us this morning is independent candidate for Lieutenant Governor Bob Venturini. Thanks for being here this morning.
Good morning.
Now, I have to say, some people who are viewers of our show may actually recognize your face because you've actually had a cable show that's been on for years, and you invite so many people in the community to be a part of it.
19 years. In fact, we have quite a few people from this station have been on my show.
That's right.
Over the years, and unfortunately, because of your job, the way the hours that you work.
I was telling him earlier I go to bed at 5 o'clock and get made fun of by kindergarten students.
Oh my gosh. I learned that early on, years ago when I first started my show. I had somebody from another station on that does a morning show, and he went to bed at 6:30 at night. I said, how can you go to bed at 6:30 at night, especially in the summertime?
Especially in the summertime, it's very difficult. But you know what is also difficult? Sometimes making the transition from one career into another, and you've decided to venture into politics. Why did you decide you wanted to get involved in this way?
Well, I had been in politics in college. I was last year of my degree's in political science from Roger Williams. In my last year of school, I went to work at the State House, and I saw the way it ran. And perfectly frank, which I didn't like the way it ran. I was surprised to find out that the governor he's not the most powerful person in the state of Rhode Island. And I ended up running for a state representative, and I lost by 2 votes in a recount. Then I got reapportioned, or as they call it, gerrymandered out of my district, and then I ran again out of another district because I was put in another district. I lost by 37 votes. And then I tried a couple more times, and in fact, I ended up taking over the ward committee at one point because I figured I'd beat him on a grassroots level. And then I finally said, oh, you know something, the heck with that. And then I went in the restaurant business. I decided to start a TV show and do positive stuff instead of all the negativity that goes on TV and the radio and in the news.
Well, as we head to Election Day, is that your message for voters? What is your message for voters?
Well, this is we need this office. You know, some people think you don't need this office. Big mistake. And if you eliminate this office, what happens? First of all, the money that you would save ends up in the general treasury. They're going to get it anyway. I mean, it's a heck of a way to think of it. But the other thing is a balance of powers that our forefathers thought of, and they set up this government as the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judiciary.
Checks and balances.
Checks and balances. And already we have the second least, weakest government in the country, Rhode Island does. And because the Speaker of the House and the legislature really controls the state. And if you take away the lieutenant governor, they've already depleted its powers. Now that's the other argument. Oh, it doesn't have any powers. It doesn't have any powers. We might as well get rid of it. Well, who took its powers away? The legislature took its powers away. So you want to make them win by just shutting it down and giving them even more power? No, I say let's reinstate the power of the lieutenant governor, and then we'll work on an even keel again, the way it's supposed to be.
Just before you go, you mentioned wanting to do positive things, and one of the positive things that you do is get involved with Toys for Tots, and there's an event that you're going to be participating in. Tell me about this event on December 7th really quickly.
December 7th, Warwick Mall, I host the Toys for Tots event. We've been doing it 17 years now. It's in memory of my father and brother, both veterans, one in Navy, one, my brother in the Marines, my father in the Navy. And I do it to collect toys. As a kid, I didn't do very well in the toy department. I have 8 brothers and sisters. My father died when the oldest was 13. My youngest brother hadn't even been born yet. He was born 6 weeks after my father died. So and I tell this story. For my Christmas that year, my father died October 13th. That Christmas, I got my brother's old Converse All-Star sneakers, ruined, stinky, wrapped up in newspaper. That was my Christmas present.
Well, thank you so much for doing what you do with Toys for Tots. And if you'd like more information about Bob Venturini's take on political issues, just head to foxprovidence.com.